Okay, we're going. We're live. It's been a couple weeks. Yeah, and here we are. Put my little welcome message into the chat. Here we go. So yeah, yesterday was totally exhausted, like totally wiped myself out because I was an idiot and had caffeine in the middle of the night because I knew I had a lot of website stuff to do and I wanted to stay awake. And oh gosh, never again. I basically didn't get any sleep that night, hardly any. So I was just like a jittery mess all yesterday. So yeah, I am no longer the young person who could just like do that forever, run myself ragged like that. Okay, so before we get started and I show you the new stuff from the website and how I've been moving everything around and what I've done, you have any questions about Tolkien's languages? Because, you know, that is the whole point of this exercise. So if you have any questions, just go into the chat. This is on YouTube itself. So you go into the chat box on YouTube. A top chat is what it says. I have a little welcome message there. Go ahead, pop on there, ask a question about Tolkien's languages, and I'll answer it during the stream. I had things set up so I can actually read the chat this time while I am like messing around with the website and such. Okay. So let's get to showing you guys what's going on. Ooh, I could show you guys just an application window. Oh, this is perfect. This is perfect. Okay. I didn't know I could do that. Ta-da! Okay. Now I just need to open up that screen. Here we go. I got it open. So this is the fancy new artwork that Sophie, my wife, did. It's all colored up and such. It's actually a little bit different from the original that she gave me because the original didn't have the transparencies that let you see the background color through it. So I'll show you the original. Is this the right one? I think this is the right one. Yeah. Yeah, this is the original. It's a slightly different color green. But this color green, it looks a lot paler with that background than it is. It's kind of like one of those comparative things. So, oh, you guys can't see it. That's right, because of how I did it. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Let's see here. I might be able to change the things here. Okay, stop. Back to me. Okay. Screen share. Entire screen share. Woo, trippy. Okay, here we go. So the picture Okay, so this is the original, like the ink. And then, no, that's the same one. Okay. This one, here it is. Here it is. So this is the artwork that she gave me originally. And I found that once all this white space was deleted, the green here kind of, well, it looks too pale when it's on the background of the that pale green background. So did it again, and this time looks like this. So, ta-da! And it's actually the same thing with the banner. I actually have two versions. One has a lighter green, one has a darker green. And we use the darker green one because it looks better on this particular shade of background green. And then, you can hardly tell, but there's actually a sort of crosshatch design, sort of textured background here. This is to set this little part apart from the rest of the website. So this is the silos, and I can tell you guys why we have these. Because it's actually like a business design sort of thing that's going on here. It's not not just a website design thing that's going on here. So if you remember websites back from like 2004, 2003, it was really popular to have a splash page. So you'd go to the URL, and at the URL you would have like a group of icons that would send you to different chunks of the website right away. And that was really popular. And oh, hi Darbari. Hello. Need to actually look at the chat occasionally. And so that was really popular in website design, and then it fell out of fashion. Splash pages fell out of fashion in the later 2000s, and then you know, blogs were all the rage, and WordPress kind of took over. So, and it wasn't until 2015 that I got a WordPress website. And it looks basically the old version, if you remember, looks like this. It's basically more centered on blog setup. Just fine and all, but that's not what we're going for here. And you know, and this does look nice and everything, but it's kind of hard to tell that this is, like, when you first look at it, that this is a website for studying Elvish. So so this summer, what I've been doing is I've been studying like how to run realelvish.net more as a business rather than just a blog and fan site sort of design. And one of the things that I learned is that what's really important when people visit a business website is that they know where they need to go, like, right away. So this has brought back splash pages in effect. So, you know, you've gone to business websites And they'll have something like this, like a little selection of things telling you exactly where you need to go on the website. Well, that's what this is. You can click on the icon, and you could click on the title, and it all gets you to the section you want. So I've divided my website basically into 4 categories. Free translations, which is the majority of the content. Translation requests, because I am a consultant and people can consult with me on language and fiction or getting their name translated, stuff like that. Interruptions that way. Can close all the pictures. It's not working. What's going on? Okay, I don't know what's going on. Whatever. Yeah, that's why I have this. It's breaking down the website into its most simple categories so that you can get where you need to go right away. So this meant that I had to make a page for free translations. Ta-da! You'll see that the fancy banner, the silos, they're disappeared. They're gone. So I got nice big things so you can click on them easy with when you're on your phone, because more and more traffic on my website is on the phone. So I need to make links nice and easy and big and such for people to click on. So, ta-da. And this is like the, most of the content on the website. And then I also added up here the major sections of the website, as well as a link to the Academy. So this is the free translations. So when you're on a desktop or a laptop, you can see this section here because it's not like turned into the little burger hidden away. So you can actually get to this stuff up here. So you can very, very easily find your way. And you can actually do that from the front page. Ta-da! Very quick and easy. Oh, another thing I had to do is that you'll notice that the home page is a description of like what and why Real Elvish .net exists, and not and not the blog. Now, I was going through a lot of different designs with these, and like I tried, I think, 5 or 6 different themes. And weird thing is I like tried a whole bunch of different ones and then ended up basically back with the same company, which is weird. So I ended up, so the old theme, this one, it's called Flat. And this one is called Flat Responsive. So, like, wee! It's very responsive. So yeah, when it's like this, you can see it's got the little burger thingy, and hello, that's trippy. Okay, sorry, I will make that hidden again. Okay, so yeah, how responsive. This is like a business design rather than. What I really liked about this one is that it is very simple. A lot of the other business design ones are more, they're very cluttered. And I know you've seen this when you go onto business websites. So like you scroll down, you get the silos, and you just keep scrolling down, and then there'll be like dozens of different things like crowding in for your attention at once. And maybe it's because because I'm autistic or something, but I always find that really distracting and unfun to go to view. So I did not want that. So I found a design that is much simpler and flat. Flat with it. Oh, this is another new thing. I am doing a newsletter. It's going to be a monthly newsletter. I just need people to sign up for it. So I've added the sign up for a newsletter thing. And I used to have a newsletter like way, way back in the past, like 2006. That's how long ago. Darbari has a question about abjads in Tengwar. So the Tengwar are more like an abugida, not an abjad. There's aspects of the Tengwar that can be kind of like an abjad. There's so when you're writing in Quenya has a lot of the letter A in it. You can delete the letter A, but you can delete, not use the tekta for A and just write words without it. But that's pretty much the only one that you can do that with. Most of the content is accessible without signing in on the website. So when you're on the Real Elvish Academy, you have to sign in to get to the courses, to view the courses. Just because I got to keep track of your progress on the lessons somehow. So that means I need people logged in. It's pretty much the only reason I have that. Though I am going to change that, and I'm going to make more complex membership stuff, but it's still not going to restrict your access to the free content, basically. So all this stuff, you'll still be able to get to it. So yeah, that's why I tried a few different designs for landing pages, splash pages. This is the simplest one I could find that also had the silos like built in. One of them I was really liking the design of until I found out that it only does the silos if you have a plugin called WooCommerce. And WooCommerce basically helps you sell stuff. And this means that it would only, these silos would only be products that you're selling. And I'm not primarily a store. And that's only like a small section of my website currently. So that was not what I wanted. Anyways, translation requests, I changed things around here too. So I need to make these like nice big things that you can easily click on too. But I moved this stuff. It used to be down here, like after all this description and such. I moved that up to the top so you can very quickly and easily get, okay, this is what I want. And I made a new section for requesting a tattoo or inscription. And I have up here the links to the articles I wrote. Basics of Tengwar for tattoo seekers, basics of Tengwar for tattoo artists. And then you have the questionnaire that you fill out and such for it. And these are fun. Sassen, Naire, Lindaria, Mi Laika Tauresse. So I heard sad or lamentful, her sad lamentful song. The ria means her. So Lindaria, I heard her sad lamentful song in the green forest. Lastanen ilin them din mi erun laskalen. So I heard her sad song in erun laskalen. That's the Elvish term for mirkwood. It means forest of green leaves. Oh, you want me to look at your personal pronouns? Okay, here we go. Enin kitab, etin kitab, elin kitab. Okay. Oh, you have different genders for I, kind of like Japanese. Whew. Okay, I need to not click on that. So that's really interesting. And then same for you. He, she, it. Okay. So that's interesting. You have his or her book up here. So that's a different, they have a different thing depending on what their function is. So are these nominative or, okay, subjectal. Okay. Yeah, I think that you mean nominative. And these are objective pronouns. Nina, Nini. So the N here is the accusative marker then, or the objective marker. Then you have the, and the Y here is the, oh wait, you have these mixed up. This is interesting. I'm having fun with your pronouns here. These are cool. Let's see, what about plural ones? Do you have plural pronouns? So you've got me here, but what about our? And what about the different types of our? Like, like, okay, so we've got, in a lot of languages, you've got our that means us including the person listening. And then you've got our that excludes the person listening. Like, we're doing something, but you aren't, is the implication. So that'll be interesting to see. Man, Dan, when. Interesting. Yeah, nominative, objective. Objective in this case, or sometimes it's called oblique, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Those are pronouns that you can use in combination. Like, they're not just accusative case, they're used with other cases. So, yeah. Thank you for sharing with us your conlang work, Darbari. Yeah. That's cool. Okay, that was a fun fun diversion, and I like figuring out how the affixes and such work. Okay, so yeah, here you fill out a form, and then you pay me to make your tattoo, or at least do the transcription for the tattoo. This is a part that's still under construction, the store. So I've been figuring, like, I figured out how to like do the set up a cart and such with PayPal. That's what all this is, and I figured out how to do that. But like, I'm really not happy with how it looks, and I'm working with somebody to try to build a system that looks a lot prettier. So this will hopefully look different soon in the future. But right now, it looks kind of like crap. Though I really like how it looks at this view. See? I think it looks very nice like this when you're at the individual object view. So, last but not least, the blog is now a separate section on its own. And I didn't realize I had turned the background on the blog green. Weird. I'll figure this out later. Anyways, and now one thing that I made certain that I did is that down here at the bottom, we've got blog categories. So if you want to like read all the Elvish poetry, ta-da! You got all the Elvish poetry. I want to read some essays, ta-da! You can read some essays. Just want to have, okay, events. Ta-da! This is the announcement for the very live stream that I'm doing right now. And then we've got like just basic news. So basically the blog part is a lot easier to get around. And why is it all like nice and green here, but not in the other ones? I don't know. Okay, so it's all the problems aren't hammered out yet. So I will figure this out. Yeah, I've also got a whole bunch of links down here for like more functional parts of the website. Like we've got the language switcher, which gives you different language versions of each section. We've got the frequently asked questions. I actually like just updated that. And this is one thing that I changed. The how do I put accents over my letters thing. So this section is like all of the letters and what their codes are for writing like online. And I find this really, really helpful. Learning these saves you a lot of time and work. And I have another link announcement to this, the Eldering keyboard for Windows, which I have over here. Ta-da! Which is a keyboard that I made specifically for people who need to type in Tolkien's languages. And then this is just a thing for If you're using a word processor, you can find the symbol in a little bit more of a roundabout way, a little bit more difficult to actually get the symbol in there. Takes a little bit longer, but it's better than the last option, which is just to copy and paste. And for a very long time, copy and paste was my only option, I remember. See, yeah, I think that's the major section that I changed. Or the major part of the frequently asked questions that I changed. Like, it used to be much more about just using Microsoft Word and how to get the characters out of Microsoft Word, but I changed that because, you know, when I'm doing Elvish these days, I'm not usually using Microsoft Word. What I'm using instead is this. This is LibreOffice Writer. And it's not because it's particularly easier to use. It's just easier to use when you're writing in Elvish, basically. So let's go down to Tengwar Telkontar so I can show you guys what I mean. That's nice and big, yeah. So this is how I get the PDFs and such of the different languages. Okay. Yeah, okay. So what shall I type? Like, somebody throw out a good example for me to type. Like something just to write, or I'll just start copying this section of the frequently asked questions. I can start with my name. Iona. I can do this, and you cannot do that in Microsoft Word. I actually end up usually using this. And this is the Eldering keyboard that I installed. I'm pretty much using that all the time. So yeah, that's the Eldering keyboard at work. I can type like that, very fast and easy. Right here, I will show you why I don't use Microsoft Word for Tengwar. Whoa. All right. Sure, I could write Darbari. I will try it anyways. So, okay, we got a Tengwa, nice and easy. That looks pretty good. We have to put an R. Actually, we want a different R. We want this R. Then you try to put an A on top of it, and oh crap. Dar. See, it won't put the symbols on top of each other like they should be. So it should look like, of course, it has different settings for different windows. Okay. So dar. It looks properly, it looks correct when you put it here, but not when you try to do it on Word. So that is why I use LibreOffice for all the Elvish stuff. For like whenever somebody wants a transcription, I put it on here and not here. It's not like you can tell when you're looking at the PDF either, so it's all right. But yep. Okay, let's get back to doing English. Don't save. Don't save. Yeah, but when you're doing website design, so some websites like or website builder thingies like WordPress, they can automatically change your symbols for you into these, and like you won't have to worry about it. But if you're doing any kind of custom website design, you want, and this is like just like good practices, because different encoding systems will think that the letter is different if you're just typing with these. So if you use these, your computer will be able, or anyone's computer using any kind of encoding system will be able to read it properly, which is quite handy. So, oh, you have a question about the way I wrote Darbari. So I treated Darbari more like it was an English word than if it was an Arabic word. Just for the example. So in English, you usually put the textar, the markers that tell you what vowel is. You put that on the sound on the tengwa after and not the tengwa before. But yeah, Arabic is kind of consonant vowel, consonant vowel, consonant vowel sort of language, isn't it? So it might actually be better to put the vowel on the previous consonant. In that case, I guess I'll just break all this out again. Oops, that's not what I want. I want English United States. Here we go. And Tengwar Telkontar. Nice and big for you. In that case, doing it like this is probably preferable if you're like more focused on Arabic than trying to write it like an English writer. So yeah, the Tengwar are incredibly changeable based on the language, and I can't guarantee that this would actually be the section of letters that you use. I haven't looked into it in any. I haven't looked into Arabic phonology in any detail, but I have a suspicion that it would not end up with the exact same chart as English. So, okay, so I'll just go through the letters themselves and show you like why you basically have to relearn the Tengwar every single time you're doing it with a different language. So this letter right here, which is a D in English and also in Sindarin, this letter is an ND in Quenya. This letter right here is an N when you're writing in Sindarin in the mode of Beleriand. That's like the exilic elves do. So this would be an N, but in Quenya and in English, this is usually an R when it is at the end of a syllable. I like to use it when it is the R that is going to have a tehta on it of some kind. This one is a B in Sindarin writing and in English, but in Quenya it is an MB. And then this symbol is usually an R. And yeah, usually it's just an R. In Sindarin and Quenya, it is a rolled R, and it's the R that goes at the beginnings of syllables usually. Not usually at the ends of syllables. So, yeah, this is very, very different depending on the language. And when you're developing Tengwar to be used with a different language, you have to take into account its phonology. So here, I will pull up a chart for you guys to look at and do some explaining in more detail. I'll give you guys a glance of what I am doing with this book. And there is a section which, yes, and because of the Tengwar, I actually am writing the book in LibreOffice, not in Microsoft Word. Okay, so here we are at the Tengwar chart. And you can see there are sounds that aren't used when writing English. Yeah. So Arabic Tengwar may not exist yet, I think, which is what you mean, Darbari, because all it takes is somebody with the decent understanding of phonology and the Tengwar to take the Tengwar and apply it to basically any language. So this is for writing English with a more historical perspective. That's what this chart is for. So when doing Japanese, I actually did a version for writing Japanese. There we go. This is based on Japanese phonology. So, you can see it's very, very different. So, this is Japanese writing system is a okay. So the book is not done, and I am like rewriting it, rewriting sections of it. Here, I'll show you. So I'm making all these exercises to go with each section. And I'm only like partway through. You can see here. Don't have all the exercises written. So it'd be kind of, and this is mostly for learning how to write, like physically write the language, rather than rather than the theory behind it. That will be a different book. In fact, a friend of mine wrote a book. Here, I'll change back to, which gets more into that kind of stuff. Ooh, stop screen sharing. Okay, here we are. I'm back. Hello. This book. And I'm still going through it. And unfortunately, a lot of like how I read books is kind of destructive because I have a visual deficit that makes following lines properly to the end not work so great. So it's also why my books rarely have large blocks of text. It's because I prefer having them broken up with things. Okay. So the theory, that's not what this book is really about. But okay, go back to screen share. Share, woo, fun. Okay. So this is the phonetic inventory of Japanese. This isn't really an F. It's bilabial fricative, and the same with the V. It's also a bilabial, not a labial dental fricative. And these letters here, they're based on the Romanji version of Japanese. So yeah. I moved things around. Like one of the things that I changed quite a bit is these here. Okay, so these two, yeah, quite understandable. And when it's at the beginning with syllable, okay, that is super. Okay, here we go, back again. And then we have the M that's at the beginning of a syllable, like ma. And we have this one not used, and then Japanese has a syllable. Syllabic, okay, it's not syllabic. It takes a mora. It takes time to say. So it has a nasal, like a fill-in-the-blank nasal that's at the end of a syllable. It's usually written N when people are transcribing, so that's what I used it. But it has a special symbol in Japanese, and that's this. This could be an N, an M, or an ang. So I used this symbol, which wasn't being used over here, and the section which Japanese has very little of, and that is velar sounds. So yeah, and this is based off of the like how Japanese is pronounced now. This is more of a phonetic thing than it is a history-based. I also developed a history-based one, but I didn't like write up a pamphlet for it. Oh, this should be. Alright, ta-da. Okay, I'm back there. Yeah, this was fun. This sound is usually actually, even though it's written it's actually usually pronounced just eh. And o here is usually just pronounced o. So. Oh yeah, and for this, I didn't actually use any of the lower section of consonants. I only used these because Japanese has a very small inventory of sounds, so I didn't have to go down to those, which was interesting. So, yes. And yeah, I actually do speak Japanese as well. Or you could say I used to. I've kind of gone out of practice because I haven't used it much. Oh, now they close. Okay. Okay, so I think we've gotten through all the website stuff. and then like took a little detour for Tengwar, which was fun. So I'm gonna stop the screen sharing, which is, ooh, that was trippy. Ta-da! I'm back. And we've almost come to the end of our hour. And this isn't tea today. It's mostly almond milk with a little bit of decaf coffee because I have sworn off caffeine for a very long time. Because so the time of day where I have the lowest traffic on the website by far is like straight at 2 a.m. like 2 a.m. my time anyways. Like what's that in? That's more like 8 a.m. I think in Greenwich time. Anyways, it's at a time when most people around the world are just not online very much. Or most of the English-speaking world isn't anyways. Most of the people who are like going to find my website and be interested in it anyways. So traffic is lowest at 2 a.m. So when I was doing all these changes to the website, things are going to get really trippy and really weird. I had to do it at 2 a.m. and I was already pretty tired. So I was like, okay, I'll just drink some jasmine tea. Jasmine tea is pretty highly caffeinated, and this was some pretty strong tea. And I only had one cup, like not a big mug, just like a little cup like this. I was like, okay, this should get me through it, and it got me through it. But I hardly got any sleep, and the whole day afterward, I was both exhausted and shaking like the entire day. And yeah, that felt really, really bad. It like took what was like going to be a really late night, exhausting work and turned it into a exhausting 24 hours. Made it just so much worse. So yeah. I'm not doing that again, not for a long time. And I think when it comes time to update the real Elvish Academy, I won't bother. I'll just do it during daylight hours when it's busy, because it's just easier that way. And also the Academy doesn't get near as much traffic as the main website does, so it shouldn't be that bad, I don't think. Should be okay. So yeah, Tower Party, it seems like it's just mostly you, Tatten. I think a lot of people view the live stream on different like chat rooms and such, and they therefore don't have access to the chat. So yeah, I can send you a copy of like a PDF copy of the work in progress. It's actually an older version of the Tangor book that I'm working on. So it's not going to have all the exercises that the newer version that I'm working on now will have. And so yeah, I can send that to you, and it's probably going to have plenty of typos, things like that hiding around. So it's not going to be the prettiest. or easiest to use. But yeah, it should be functional. So yeah, I can send that to you. The email for my website is admin@realelvish.net. So you could just send me your request, because I don't know if I ever got your email. So yeah. And this book is basically just a workbook for Tengwar, for writing English specifically with Tengwar, and writing English with a more historical view of spelling and such. So it's like if you got some elves in England meeting up with Chaucer, learning how to write with Chaucer, basically. So yep. And with that, we're at 1 a.m. Or not a.m. I must be still tired. Not terribly, but yeah. Okay, 1 minute, and then I will disappear. Maybe take a nap. Probably just fiddle with my website more and try to figure out how the heck did it get all weird like that? Like, what happened to the background there? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, signing into the website is one way to make submitting forms a lot easier, because it fills in part of the form for you. So yeah, you should probably sign in. Okay, it is 1 p.m., not a.m., p.m. So I am signing off. Thank you for chatting with me, guys. Namaste.